Who are today, eh?
Yeah, have you got a game this weekend?
Yeah,
Michael's curiously unbranded.
Where's the gear? It's an actual and stuff.
So you had good news about a job.
Right, we'll do the usual split. We'll start with broadcast on Wednesday and then we'll move into the print deadline. Before it's like get underway.
Sorry.
It's just part of the furniture now, you can
Speak for yourself.
Matt, you've called 6 new players into the team. Tell us the reasons for those and what those guys are going to bring.
Yeah, I think we brought 6 new guys in who've played pretty well over the last couple of weeks, also through just kind of coming back from injury. So they've been brought in to add a bit to the squad. People like Josh Strauss played well for Sale, and it's good that these guys are here.
What about the rest of the squad? They've had the week to sort of recover from what was a tough old day against France. How's it? Any other injury concerns going into the
No, we've been pretty good actually. It was a good week last week in terms of training, a couple of days training. A couple of guys had to go back to their clubs, but not too many of the guys actually went back and played for their clubs. So majority of the guys who have come back in really good shape.
This is obviously the big game in the calendar for Scotland fans, and I'm guessing the players feel the same. Do you notice a difference in the build-up when you know it's England at the end of the week? Yeah, no, I do. I definitely notice. We've talked about it straight after the France game and what it means to Scottish people to play, the English counterparts and things like that. So no, there's certainly an edge to training. The last time you met them obviously was a day to forget for everyone involved in Scotland. A year on, what are your reflections on that day and why did it go so drastically wrong?
Listen, I think that day they were really good and we weren't so good. So a couple of bounces of the ball early on, yellow cards, things like that affected us a little bit. But a year on, hopefully we can manage to put in a good performance this weekend.
Are you confident that the scars of that day have healed? Obviously it's a bad memory, and the guys that played at Twickenham that day, it was a really tough day for them. Are you confident that won't be in their heads?
Listen, I think we haven't beaten them for a while, so it's going to be a challenge, isn't it? And they're on a pretty good run, but listen, we prepared well. We're going to do our best to prepare well this week as well, and we'll throw everything at them.
That game came about when there was a bit of a head of steam behind the team, a bit of optimism. So sort of similar feeling going in this time. Have you learnt anything different from that experience that you can alter the approach in that sense?
Yeah, I suppose it was. We've done pretty well leading into that game. I think the important thing to remember is, every game's different in itself, and whether or not you've won 2 or 3 games beforehand, it's a new game every time you step onto the field. So I think for us, we know what a big challenge it will be against England. They're a very good side, but listen, I think we've done pretty well at Murrayfield over the past while, so we're looking forward to playing them at Murrayfield.
You obviously, that game, you mentioned discipline, things like the yellow cards Fraser Brown got early on, and that sort of seemed to roll you. But against France, more recently you were very tight. You didn't give away too much in that sense. I mean, is that going to be the lesson again? You need to keep things disciplined.
Yeah, definitely. I think whenever you play any side, you want to be disciplined. I think with England, because they're usually such a big side, elite. You don't really want to give them too much access in the game through their line out, and they've got some good plays, whether it's drive plays or their kind of plays for the back of dummy drives and things like that. So yeah, discipline is a massive thing for us, and an important part of playing well, I think.
In terms of a defensive point of view, how pleased were you with the way that against France, the early setback they got with losing the early try, it didn't seem to spiral out of control like it perhaps had done in Cardiff? You were able to just park that and move on and get playing your rugby again?
Yeah, in reflection, we're pretty disappointed with that, giving away that try early on. We managed to turn them over once, and we felt we were a bit unlucky with maybe a knock on in that sequence, but that's sometimes what you get with games. But I think we had a lot of resolve after the week before. We were very disappointed in that performance, and we certainly thought with our game plan, the way we wanted to play, that the last 20 minutes would be really important for us, and we felt the way the game had been in the first 60 minutes would have an effect on the French, and we felt that it probably did in the last 20 minutes. So we were always confident in the sense that the last 20 minutes would be a very important part of the game.
Is it easier to keep that discipline and that kind of clarity of thought when you're at home? Is that one of the big advantages of playing at home?
I think so. I think, listen, we all know that statistically, and teams do better at home, and that's because you've got the comfort of what you're used to. You've got the crowd behind you. That helps your momentum, helps the emotion of the occasion as well. So yeah, that's the benefit of playing at home, and statistics in all sports will show you that that's usually something that you do well at home generally.
And of course, do not make a lot of mistakes. It's a huge strength of theirs. How much can Murrayfield, can the crowd, trying to get them out of sorts, kind of move them further towards making the sort of mistakes that they're not characterised for? Yeah,
I'm sure. Listen, I know from my point of view, in my time at Scotland, this is the most people have been ringing me up for tickets and asked me for tickets and things like that. So I think the crowd's going to be excellent. I think they'll be right behind us, and I think Murrayfield's been a very special place to play at for the players and everyone involved over the last couple of years, and we'll be certainly looking forward to the crowd getting right behind us and doing well.
You were able to identify during the game, I'm guessing you probably knew before the game, that the French might start to wane in the last quarter. Do you think that's somewhere you might have an advantage over England, or does their strength off the bench kind of negate that?
Well, I think they've got a very good bench, yeah, so it's going to be like an 80-minute game. I wouldn't expect them to kind of tie like the French did. I think just the nature of a lot of the top 14, it's a different way of playing over there, and most of their players are involved in that. It's kind of, it's not as fast as maybe some of the other leagues and things like that. So I'd imagine it'll be a close tussle right to the end.
Where do you think you can get at this England side? We talked about Wales gave a really disciplined performance. I think it was only 2 penalties they gave away, and their missed tackle count was in single digits, and yet still come out the wrong side of it. So where can you get at England?
Listen, I think we've spoken before about wanting to play at pace and in tempo and speed the game up, and we'll be certainly wanting to do that again. And I think at Murrayfield, with the crowd behind us and the emotion of the occasion, that's really going to spur us on, and also maybe the result from last year, wanting to put some things right from last year. So
how easy though is it to strike that balance between playing a tempo and just playing harem scarum, headless chicken rugby?
Yeah, no, it's certainly important that you want to play a tempo, but you want to be accurate, because if you're not accurate, then you give the ball away. So it's an important part, and we're always, every week, we're looking at things what we can do better, and there was parts of that performance we need to do better.
When you look at last year's game, you look at the way early on they opened you up in midfield. It's likely to be a very similar sort of combination that England are putting out in this game. What have you learned from that, and what are you putting into practice this time to counter it?
Yeah, I thought what England did well on that day was that they had different line-out shapes and different people in the line-outs, and they played a lot of tempo plays. They're probably one of the kind of first teams that really kind of got stuck into that style of attack, and we probably just didn't adapt very well. And probably since that game, as a Scotland team, we've worked on various things about trying to work out the numbers, work out our spacing, get ready, do all those type of things, with our communication, our nomination and animation type of things, and we've worked hard on that, and I think that's really important from a defensive point of view as well, and vice versa. We'll be looking to try and get them to guess and work out our shapes and what we're trying to do as well.
And how useful in that is it having, when you have that sort of clutch, that we're looking from the Finn out to Hugh?
Sorry.
How useful is having that club unit there?
Oh, definitely, yeah. The combinations is really important, the cohesion, and so it's really important that we have those combinations. And the team did really well last week, so we're looking to keep a lot of those combinations together.
Coach, we've got the print deadline.